So what are the implications of what's happening now in Yemen? Dr. Elisabeth Kendall has been studying the region for many years. She is mistress or head of Girton College at Cambridge University, and she joins us live. Dr. Kendall, welcome. Were you surprised first by these US airstrikes on Yemen?
Not entirely surprised. I think the US had to act now for a number of reasons. I think patience had run out with having the Houthis in a position where they were able to essentially hold the Red Sea to ransom when things were not going the way they wanted. Although they had ceased their attacks in the Red Sea with the ceasefire in Gaza as they had promised, they've now said that they will resume attacks against Israeli shipping in the Red Sea. And we know that that's interpreted in a very broad way because Israel's refusing to let aid into Gaza. So I think probably three things have come together at the same time for the US. One is international, its desire to protect freedom of navigation, as it says, and to preempt further Houthi actions against Israel. Two, its regional pressure, its desire to send a message to Iran. And three, I think something domestic too. There does look to be a ramping up of the conflict parties inside Yemen with their war rhetoric and frontline maneuvers, and this would greatly weaken the Houthis ahead of any resumption of civil war.
But these airstrikes, purely as a US tactic to try to stop the raids on ships in the Red Sea, what are their chances of success, do you think?
It depends how sustained they are and how well targeted they are. They do differ from action that was taken under the Biden administration because they appear to be designed now to carry on for several days, if not weeks. So this kind of sustained attempt to take out Houthi capability is new. But that said, we do know that the Houthis have strong experience of continuing whilst being under pressure. So they do know how to hide their weapons. They do know how to produce, albeit not very sophisticated, weapons to replace those that have been destroyed. And most importantly, perhaps, as was indicated by the interview just now with the Houthi spokesman, they believe that they have God on their side. They're incredibly confident and they have a high tolerance for casualties on their own side.
And do you believe they don't care who's in the White House? It makes no odds to them whether it's Trump or Biden?
I think it makes no odds whatsoever to them.
Is President Trump's messaging aimed at the Houthis or at their backer, Iran?
It's aimed at both, because I think there's a recognition that while the Houthis are not a direct Iran proxy, yes, they've had weapons and training from Iran, and therefore it's a message to Iran to say, stop supplying and helping the Houthis. But it's also a bigger message to Iran in the sense that, look, what we've done to Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and to some extent the Assad regime in Syria, and now the Houthis in Yemen. Watch out, you could be next. So it would be much better for you if you were to reach a deal with us over your nuclear breakout capability.
However, it could trigger quite a major escalation, couldn't it?
It could, but this now is a time perhaps that America thinks it can put maximum pressure on Iran because it's already down. Hit your opponent while they're down. Its proxies are in shreds. Its overland smuggling route through Syria has gone. Its air defenses have been left exposed after Israel's strikes last year. So yes, it has significantly tried to increase its enrichment of uranium to help along its nuclear capability, but it hasn't yet reached bomb level. So this perhaps is one last attempt to try to rein Iran in before going all out with direct attacks.
Tell us a bit more briefly about the Houthis and to what extent do you think they are a proxy of Iran?
They are not a direct proxy of Iran because Iran does not exercise full command and control over them. By the way, the Houthis have also boasted of being bolder than Iran. So they might actually see the weakening of Iran and its axis of resistance as an opportunity rather than a setback. It gives them more of a chance to get into a leadership position inside the axis of resistance and perhaps even to expand it to new partners in places like Somalia or Sudan.
It sounds like you think they're completely undaunted.
I think they're undaunted, but that doesn't mean that they're completely invincible. It means that they think that they're completely invincible.
Dr. Elisabeth Kendall from Girton College, Cambridge, mistress of Girton College, Cambridge, and a specialist in Yemen and the region. Many thanks for coming on NewsHour. This is the BBC World Service.